A, B and C are 3 points on a circle with a centre O and a radius R. So A, B, C, 3 points on the circle with a centre O and radius R. The distance from A to C is 10. The distance from B to C is 12. And the angle AOB is 2 pi over 3. Part 1, calculate AB, correct to 2 decimal places. Part 2, find the value of R, correct to 2 decimal places. Part 3, calculate, correct to 2 decimal places, the area of the shaded region shown. So let's start with number 1, calculate AB, correct to 2 decimal places. So we want to find this distance here. So I've highlighted it in green, that's what we're looking for. So we're going to take the triangle ABC, so ABC, and the angle ACB, so ACB, so this angle here at the circumference is going to be half of 2 pi over 3. So it's going to be half of this angle here at the centre. And that's because the angle at the centre is twice the angle at the circumference. This is one of our circle terms. So the angle at the centre of the circle is twice the angle at the circumference. And vice versa, the angle at the circumference is half the angle at the centre. So half of 2 pi over 3. We're going to do top by top, bottom by bottom. 1 by 2 pi is 2 pi. 2 by 3 is 6. So we get 2 pi over 6, which is 1 pi over 3, or just pi over 3, a third pi. And a third pi is equal to 60 degrees, because pi is equal to 180 degrees, and 180 divided by 3 is 60 degrees. So that angle there is 60 degrees. Then we're going to use the cosine rule, which is a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos of a. We're going to label AB as lowercase a, that's the side we're looking for, and the angle 60 degrees is going to be uppercase A, capital A. Then we label the other two sides as B and C. It doesn't matter which way you label them. So I've labelled the 10 as B and the 12 as C. So we get AB squared equals 10 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 by 10 by 12 cos of 60 degrees. Putting this into the calculator, we get 124, and the square root of that is 11.14 to 2 decimal places. So the distance from A to B is 11.14. Part 2. Find the value of R, correct to 2 decimal places. So we want to find the radius. So we're going to take the triangle OAB. So OAB. And we're going to use the cosine rule. A squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos of a. And we're going to label our triangle. So we have the angle is going to be capital A. So that's 2 pi over 3. And the side opposite is lowercase a. That's 11.14. We got that from part 1. And then the b and the c are both R. So subbing into our formula, the a squared is 11.14 squared. Bring down the equals. The b squared is r squared. The c squared is r squared. Bring down the minus 2. And that's multiplied by b and c. So it's multiplied by r and r. And cos of a, which is cos of 120 degrees. And we get this because we are given 2 pi over 3 as our angle. So 2 pi over 3 becomes 2 multiplied by 180 over 3, which is 120 degrees. Because remember, pi is equal to 180 degrees. We have to use degrees for the cosine rule. We cannot use radians. Okay, so 11.14 squared is 124. R squared plus r squared is 2r squared. Minus 2 times cos of 120 degrees is going to be 1. And 1 times r, which is going to be r squared. So then 2r squared plus 1r squared is 3r squared. So 3r squared is equal to 124. So dividing across by 3, we get r squared equals 41.33. And square rooting that, we get 6.43 for the radius. Just make sure you're in degree mode for this. Part 3. Calculate correct to 2 decimal places the area of the shaded region shown. So this shaded region here. So we need to remember that in part 2 we got the radius to be 6.43. So the shaded area is going to be the area of the sector OAB. So OAB, so this sector here, this pizza slice, minus the area of the triangle OAB. So OAB, so this triangle. And remember the formula for the area of a triangle is half AB sine C. So the formula for the area of a sector, if our angle is in radians, is half r squared times theta times the angle. So remember the r is the radius, which is 6.43 we got from part 2. So we get a half times 6.43 times 2 pi over 3. So remember 2 pi over 3 is the angle in radians. That's going to be minus the area of the triangle, which is a half AB sine C. So we're going to label the C, the capital C, as the angle we're using, so 2 pi over 3. But we're going to rewrite that in degrees. So 2 pi over 3 becomes 2 times 180 over 3, which is 120 degrees. So it's going to be sine of 120 degrees. The A is one radius, the B is the other radius, and both of them are 6.43, which again we got from part 2. So we get a half times 6.43 times 6.43 times sine of 120 degrees. That gives us 43.284 minus 17.898, and that gives us 25.39. So the area of the shaded part is 25.39 units squared.